Hey everybody, welcome back to Into the Canyon. So today we have a very special guest that we weren't expecting to find, and we actually brought him into the Nature Center today so I could show you guys up close. So I'm speaking very quietly because he has very sensitive ears, but let me pull him out real quick. We have a Mexican free-tailed bat. Isn't that cool? So bats are specially adapted to fly around at night specifically. So they're the only flying mammal, which is pretty amazing. But these guys have very large ears right here because they use echolocation. So what they'll do is they'll send out like a click noise, and they'll wait for that sound to bounce off of an insect, and that'll come back to them and land in their giant ears over here. And then they'll know exactly where that insect is because, let's be honest, nobody can see super well in the dark. Maybe some cats, but these guys use a different method and it works very effectively. If you look over here at his wings, he's got them tucked right now. And I'll show you guys a picture here in just a second. But these are actually extensions of his fingers. And this little bit right here, that's his thumb. And he'll use that to help grab onto walls, on the cave or a shed or wherever he's roosting for the night. And then his fingers extend down his wing, and he's very agile. He can move those bits around to help him fly exactly where he needs to go. Very effective hunters. And very cute too. Alright, so we found this guy over one of my sports equipment containers this morning, and we had a really big storm about 2 nights ago, and so I think he was just seeking shelter. So these guys will show up from here in Texas all the way to Oregon during these summer months. But during the winter months, they'll migrate down to South America and Central America to breed, and then they'll come back here during the summer months to give birth to baby bats, also called pups. So these guys are very big travelers. They go long distances, but they're also extremely vital to the agricultural industry in this country because every year in Texas, they eat up to 18,000 tons of insects. That's insane. And to give you a scale for that, that's 150 times the weight of a blue whale. That's mind-blowing. The blue whale is the biggest animal ever on the planet, and these guys will eat 150 times the weight of that. That's crazy. So these guys provide a huge pest control service to us, and we need to give them a little more credit for that. So we all know that bats have a stigma for being dangerous or carrying rabies. And while I love Dracula, Bram Stoker, the author, he didn't exactly do much good to help out with bats. While bats are carriers of rabies, they can be carriers of rabies, they don't always carry rabies. So while we can't tell the sick ones from the well ones, it's best to leave them alone. I have this one in a box because he was somewhere where he probably shouldn't be and he needs to be moved out of the way. But if you guys find one maybe in your home or somewhere where there could be potential conflict, it's best to call an expert to come and relocate those bats. Bats are very beneficial to the environment. Bats are also just cool animals anyway. Down in Austin, we've all heard of the Austin bats. They'll throw festivals for the bats up there. Because these guys, the Mexican free-tailed bats, will roost under the Congress Avenue Bridge and come out in the thousands, and by the end of the season, 1.5 million. So these guys are a huge part of our Texas wildlife and our Texas ecology. So we need to be very careful to help protect these guys. All right, looks like he's waking up from his nap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go let him go over here back behind the Nature Center because he's been in here long enough, but I just wanted to show you guys just how cool these are up close. It's not every day that I get a bat in a box like this. You ready to go? I take that as a yes. Morning, guys, and welcome back. So today I got to my office a little early. We got to do some things like find some animals, and lo and behold, we got turkeys right here. Got several more walking down along the archery range over here. Not sure if you can see them. You can hear the bobwhites in the background. It is 7 o'clock exactly. It's a good time to see wildlife right now as it starts to heat up throughout the day, so the earlier the better. Whoop. Make sure to wear that bug spray. There's mosquitoes on me too. Where are you guys going? They like to hang out here. There's bugs, it's easier for them to dig in the ground. There's leftover acorns. There's a couple left from the fall, not very many, but they like to congregate here a lot. But that's a good start to the day. Let's see what else we can find. All right, so we didn't have to travel far to see something else. So we're right here next to the nature center in the field out here. But we got several deer out here if you look right behind me. This is something that you are guaranteed to see while you are visiting the park. But here pretty soon, the magic days around 4th of July, we're gonna start seeing the little baby deer or fawns. So something unique about the deer is that they have a really special adaptation where they are born without a scent, which is pretty amazing. So they are undetectable by predators. So like coyotes, when they're sniffing around trying to track something down, they can't smell them, which is amazing. And good for little deer that are about this big. So with that, they'll use their spots and that adaptation to just stay completely invisible from those predators. So what mom deer will do, or the doe, is that during that time period, because the does, they develop a scent over time, and they have that. So they don't want to endanger their fawns, so they'll leave them for periods of time and come back to nurse every now and then to help protect them. So if you ever see a fawn by itself, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So I urge you guys to please, please, please leave them be. If you see a fawn in the grass laying by itself, leave it alone, because if you go up and touch it, then it's going to smell like you, and it's lost that ability to stay invisible from predators. All right, everybody, so we're back here in the Nature Center. So those were some really awesome animals that we were able to find, especially that bat, because those are a little harder to find, especially like up close and personal like that. So when life gives you bats, you make a cool video. And then with the deer, it's just really cool getting to see just their daily activities and just how close they can be to like the road, and how close you can get to them from inside your car as well. So always be safe around driving around the park, and just always keep an eye out, because there's always something to see from the road. But I just want to thank you guys for coming today, and I'll see you next time on Into the Canyon. Bye.